Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream. We are back in XP12 today, and this is now the official 12.2 full release. So 12.2 is now out of beta, it is now the full release. So we can take a look, have a little bit of a chat regarding this update, what my thoughts are now it is out of beta. I will have a video come in very soon, similar to my, if you remember from last year, my 12.1 sort of everything you need to know guide. I will have a 12.2 video coming out, hopefully tomorrow, if not the day after, but that will be coming soon. So 12.2 full release. We are also going to be taking a look at the TaiModels Singapore scenery for XP12, and we can kind of compare it to the existing scenery from CloudSurf. I did have that as well. I will say straight away, I prefer the TaiModels. I did compare both, and there's a few reasons I prefer the TaiModels. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Hey Diogo, welcome. So no, we are 12.2 full release. This is no longer beta, and I don't believe there's any active betas for XP12 at the minute now. It is just a full stable release. V Skycheck, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Glad to have you here. Sim Crashflyer, welcome. Stan, welcome. Glad to have you. Yeah, Diogo, as V Skycheck there has correctly said, if you could comment in English, that would help, because I, of course, I'm not going to understand your comment otherwise. But thank you very much for being here. So, we are in this Scoot. Look at them floating into the cabin. We are in this Scoot A320 here, 320 Neo to be precise. We got the PW engine, so we should have some howls for takeoff and stuff like that. Let me grab the route here and show it to you guys. Let's see. So, bit of a new route. We've never flown from this airport before, so this is new to me, this airport. This is Ipoh in Malaysia. And we are going to be flying from there, departing runway 22 on the Duda 2 Bravo departure. And then we're going to be flying overhead of Kuala Lumpur, the capital city, of course. Flying along the coast down into Singapore here. We'll be on the Tibu 1 Bravo arrival. And then I currently have the RNAV for runway 20 right planned. But we'll see what ATC give us when we get a little bit closer. We are using St. Tensions ATC today, so it should be a nice fun flight. I'll get rid of that because I have it all on my tablet. Call sign today is Scooter 4090, and I am currently, so I didn't have orthos for this area, so I'm using map enhancement at the minute. And then when we get to TaiModels, I have a custom ortho tile for that area with a custom mesh, because TaiModels Singapore does require a custom mesh. It doesn't come with an ortho patch, which is quite annoying. Essentially, it means you can't use orthos and the custom mesh together, you know. If you use your own pre-existing orthos, you'll have floating buildings. But our good friend November Lima on the forums has made an ortho patch, which essentially combines an ortho tile and a mesh, which is fantastic. And it means you don't need to make any sacrifices. You can have lovely ortho imagery with the correct mesh. So I'll show you that when we get there as well. Let's see here. Hopefully the sounds are all okay. Do let me know. I think my headset is potentially on its way out. It's got noise cancelling, but it's like squeaking on my left ear, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's a noise cancelling playing up or what. Anyway, we have some passengers boarding here, and we'll go ahead up to the overhead panel, and we'll start the aircraft. Sounds 5x5. Thank you very much, Sam. We are using the COSP sound pack today. And of course, the Tolis 320 family did get a update. It's mostly bug fixes and improvements, nothing major, but it did get an update. We're on the latest version. I reinstalled the carders, I reinstalled all my sound pack, stuff like that. So we are now good to go. Crew supply, ground control can go on, and we'll put the ADs on one by one. We'll wait for the OMBAT to extinguish. There it goes. We'll put the second one on. Hey, Kalen, welcome. How's it going? IRS 3 to nav. Lovely. Alright, and there she goes. Alright, so let's we'll head down here. I just want to check. Yeah, we'll turn that off for now. Alright. Let's go to init and request the flight plan. 12.2 looks epic. Yeah, look at this. Dark cockpit fix, so everything looks really nice. Looks great. The little reflections here, as you can see, it looks really nice. It looks really nice. And what we'll do, you know what, shall we, because we're live weather, we're not live time, let's get a little sunset going. How about that? Maybe something like that. Yeah, alright, so later on into the flight, oh, look at that, guys. Beautiful. As we climb above the clouds, we should get a nice sunset, and that's where this update really shines, I think. It's really where 12.2 shines, is the new lighting and atmospheric effects and the scattering. It's just amazing. Super bored at the minute. I want to fly, but I also don't know what to do or where to fly. Yeah, I get that sometimes. Alright. So, we are indeed cruising flight level 330. Yes, we are. Cruise. Sorry, cost index 39, that's correct. Scooter 409, correct. Alright. So we'll go align on ref, and we'll get the wind from SimBrief. Now let's get the ATIS going here at Ipoh. ATIS is 12705. 12705, we'll put that in. Oh, there we are. One 12705. We should get the ATIS in a second. Why is the ATIS not coming through? Come on, same tensions. Alright, let me tune tower, do a radio check. 1216. I don't know why the ATIS isn't coming through. Maybe there's no ATIS available. Let's do a radio check real quick. Ipoh ground, Scooter 409, radio check.
Scooter 409er, Ipoh ground, go ahead. Attention all aircraft, information uniform is now current. QNH 1009er.
Loud. Let me turn them down slightly. Ipoh ground, radio check for Scooter 409er. I mean, it looks like they had us, so I guess there's no ATIS available at the minute. I don't know why.
Scooter 409er, roger. Reading you loud and clear.
Yeah, no ATIS on Navigraph either. Alright. Yeah, roger, thanks, Scooter 409er. Alright. In that case, we will just get our clearance. Oh, I don't know why did I close the door? Alright, well, yeah, we'll go straight for the clearance then. What stand are we at? No stand number on Navigraph that I can see. Alright, we'll just tell them directly. Ipoh ground, Scooter 409, aircraft type A320, Neo, request IFR clearance to Singapore, please.
Clearance on request, stand by.
Alright, they'll get back to us soon. Let's get the APU going. Should be a nice flight down to Singapore.
Scooter 409er, information uniform is current. Cleared to Singapore via the due to Bravo departure. Then as filed. Departure runway 22. Initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 123.75 squawk 4532.
Information uniform is current. Clear to Singapore via the Duda 2 Bravo departure, then as filed. Departure runway 22, initial climb to 4,000, departure on 123.75, squawk 4532, Scooter 409er. Alright, there is our clearance. That is what we planned as well, so that all looks good.
Scooter 409er, read back correct.
4,000 in here. And then 123.75, we'll put the departure frequency here, so I remember it. Just scroll all the way across. 75. And then, alright, let's complete this then. So you can go here, departure 22, and you'll see Duda 2 Bravo. Insert that. No disco there. And then the arrival for Singapore is going to be the RNAV 20 right at the minute. That might change to an ILS. RNAV 20 right on the TB1 Bravo. There it is, TB1 Bravo via Bipop. There we are. So let's check that. See if there's any discontinuities. There we are. In it. That's all correct. Let me check the fuel. We need block fuel 5.5. We have 5.5 on board. Minimum takeoff is 5.3. We have plenty on board. Good. All right. Good stuff. This can go. We'll do a perf there. This can go to perf. And then this flight plan. All right. Let's reset this to current weight. Takeoff. Air conditioning will be on. So it is a short runway. We'll do a toga? Yeah, we'll do a toga. Do a toga takeoff. Local QNH is 1009er. So we'll set that. And the winds are variable at 2, so we'll just leave it at 00 for now. Flaps 1, we will request that. And set our squawk is 4532. There we are, ready to go. We'll close the door. And we're on APU, we are. APU bleed, external power off. Fuel pumps can all come on. We will get rid of all the ground services here. And get the doors closed up. Looks like they're all closed, we'll arm them. And we're good to go, I think. Pretty much. We'll wait for the ADAS to align. 2 minutes left on them. Now, I don't think we're going to need a push, so we're just going to taxi straight out. We'll head over there. This beautiful sunset. Right. What else is there to do? So we have our takeoff clearance. There'll be a toga takeoff. Good stuff. Everything up here looks good to me. And everything down here looks good as well. Since we're not going to be moving, I suppose we can start our engines whilst the ADAS is aligned. I don't think that would screw it up. So we'll go ahead and request engine start. Ipoh ground, Scooter 409er, request engine start. Look at that lighting. Very nice.
Scooter 409er, engine start approved.
Engine start approved, Scooter 409er. Right, so engine start is approved. The ADA is aligned anyway. So, alright, everything up here looks good. APU bleed is on. Let's go ahead and get the beacon. Beacon on. And let's start number 1 first. Actually, we'll hit dual calling as well. So now they're going to spin up. Both engines should. Spin up on the N2. There goes the other one. So they're going to call at the same time, hence the dual calling. And it's just going to force air through. Spin them up to about 10% N2. And then it'll start the actual start sequence. There it goes. I'm using the Carter engine mod. Beautiful. Alright, so we should have a good start on engine number 1. There it goes. Lovely. We'll start engine number 2. And it's already done the cooling, so it's gonna just start straight up. Let that start. Do we have XP realistic going? We do. Good. Oh, I do love the toeless aircraft, especially the 320 family. I still think are the best. Still think the 320 family are the best toeless products, especially with the cost sound pack. Sounds fantastic. I do use both the COSP and the Mango Studio sound pack. I just switch between them. I like both. Okay, good start on engine number 2. So put that back to norm. We'll get the weather radar on, spoilers on. We'll go flaps 1. There it goes. Flaps 1, APU off, dual cooling off, and I think we are ready to taxi. Everything looks good to me. Let's get our taxi clearance. Ipoh ground, Scooter 409er, request taxi. We are going to have to backtrack on the runway here.
Scooter 409er, taxi to runway 22 at your discretion.
Taxi runway 22 at our discretion. Scooter 409er. Alright, I'm just going to preset the tower frequency here, 1221. And off we go. Just get my Tobii eye tracker set up. There we are. Off we go. Looks like we're rolling back. Let's get a bit of power in. There we are. Yeah, we're on a little bit of a hill. Oh, look at that. Did you see that reflection on the MCP glass there? So good. They've done a really good job. And runway 22 is right in front of us. We'll have to backtrack to the right. alert the crew. And we'll just stop here. Right, parking brake set. I just realised the seatbelt signs need to go on. These can go on as well. Takeoff trim is up 0.4, so let's get that set. And takeoff config. Oil temp low. Alright, that's fine. By the time we get to the runway over there, that should be good to go. We'll check it again though. Alright. Let's go to tower frequency now. And get permission to backtrack on the runway. I'm just going to set the departure frequency. 123750. Alright. Ipoh Tower, scooter 409er. Request to enter runway 22 and backtrack.
Scooter 409er, enter runway 22 and backtrack approved.
Enter runway 22 and backtrack, Scooter 409er. Alright, we are cleared to enter the runway and backtrack. Nothing on the left, nothing on the right. And oh, those sounds. At that point we'll go TARA on and we'll get all our lights on as well. There we are. 28 minutes in. 29 minutes into the stream. And we are ready for takeoff. Not too bad. So we're going to head off to the right here. Oh, those PW sounds, they sound so good. Alright, we are just going to backtrack on this runway then. Beautiful. Default airport. Looks great. Livery is by Mr. Tom Can Fly, of course. Fantastic liveries for the Tolis family. Nice. And then we'll turn it around, get our takeoff clearance, and off we go to Singapore. Yep, 12.2 is really nice. It really is. It's a huge improvement. A really, really big update for X-Plane. Right, we'll just get ourselves lined up here. Right, parking brake set. Ipoh Tower, Scooter 409er, ready for departure. Yes, V-Sky check. I'm getting some pretty good frames. I'm getting 44 right now. Lossless is boosting that to 88. And it's pretty decent on VRAM usage as well.
Scooter 409er, runway 22. Winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 22. Scooter 409er. Alright, off we go, guys. 50%, we'll spool them up. 55 with Zebra, wow, fantastic. And Toga. There we are. Mantoga SRS on runway. Auto thrust blue. The 80 knots, release forward pressure. Thank you TSC 777, really appreciate it. V1, rotate. Yes, nice smooth rotation. Positive rate, gear up, flyby. Straight into IFR conditions. Third person to say my channel name correctly.
Scooter 409er, contact departure.
Contact departure, Scooter 409er. Alright, and now because we have the frequency preset, go straight to it. Ipoh departures, Scooter 409er just departed runway 22 on the 202 Bravo departure. Alright, thrust climb.
Scooter 409er, lumper radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climb via the SID, Scooter 409er. Alright, any restrictions? Let me just check. No restrictions on the SID, we just have to be above 7,000.
Scooter 409er, say again please.
330. Climb via the SID, Scooter 409er. Good stuff, alright. Flaps up. Yeah, proper IFR conditions. We should have our 3,000 subscriber special this week as well. Just follow the flight directors. I don't think we're gonna. Oh, look at that! How beautiful! Yeah, this lighting is a lot better. Huge improvement. I remember seeing the trailer for XP12 for the first time and thinking how much of an upgrade the lighting was compared to 11, but this is a new level. Disarm speed brakes. We'll fly them up to 10,000. Oh, it's better on the right side for sure, yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Do you think Say Intention's worth it now? Seems a lot better. Yeah, I really do recommend it. It's not perfect. It does sometimes do silly things occasionally. But the majority of the time, it's pretty good for both VFR and IFR. You know, you guys will know I fly VFR in real life in the UK, and I can say exactly what I would say in real life to Say Intentions, and it reacts in the same way as a real life controller.
Scooter 409er, climb flight level
really
260.
Climb flight level 260, Scooter 409er. Yeah, it's really good. And now traffic is
409er, maintain flight level 260.
Maintain flight level 260, Scooter 409er. Yeah, it's with the traffic coming to Microsoft Flight Sim and then eventually X-Plane as well. Should be fun. Alright, 10,000, we'll get the autopilot on. Lights off. Lovely. So the clouds clear up. This is all map enhancement, by the way. Yes. So nice. And down we go towards Singapore. We should overfly Kuala Lumpur, so that'd be quite fun. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Looks fantastic. Just the way things, the lighting is reflecting. Yeah, beautiful. If only this here was a better, we had better textures here. And the modeling was a bit better. Right, local QNH, sorry, standard. Now we're heading up. Brilliant. Nice and easy. I tell you, after for those of you who are on the Duke stream, the members only Duke stream last week, flying the Airbus after the Dukes, it's so much easier. It felt like there was almost nothing to do compared to the Dukes, where you gotta, you know, watch your RPMs. There's no auto throttle. You gotta watch your ITT, your engine, your pressurization. Flight level 310, Scooter 409er. Good stuff.
Scooter 409er, maintain flight level 310.
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Tells me to climb and then maintain. Maintain flight level 310, Scooter 409er. Looks great. We'll have to take the 777 and V2 up, I think, because that will just look amazing in this lighting as well. If you have any suggestions for aircraft or places you want me to fly, do let me know. Alright. So Kuala Lumpur is just before this VKL waypoint, so about here where we're gonna hit our cruise altitude. Very nice. I'm hoping that the sun sets a little bit, so we get a nice, like, dusk. A nice dusk setting. Because really that is when this new lighting engine shines, is at sunset. ATC data link standby on the ECAS, not seen that mess before. I just noticed that and I have no idea what it is. ATC data link standby. It must be to do with the update potentially.
Scooter 409er, climb flight level 330.
Climb at flight level 330, Scooter 409er. Alright, 330. Yeah, I don't know why it's on my ECAS. No idea. Beautiful. Very nice. Better FPS than in final block 7. In the last beta 7. For me, beta 7 and RC1 were basically the same. and this release, the full release version is basically the same as RC1. So for me, I would say yes, the same as Beta 7 basically, performance wise. For me, performance was really good in Beta 6 and 7, really good, and that's continued now, so I'm quite happy. Yeah, it does. Of course, by default, probably not. Lighting-wise, sure, but obviously scenery-wise, not so much default. But with map enhancement and map enhancement or auto for XP, whichever one, and Sim Heaven and X Roads, it looks great. Maybe not as good as Microsoft Flight Sim still in terms of the ground itself. Because you can't beat photogrammetry and stuff like that, but this looks very good, especially lighting wise and weather engine wise. I do think we're really getting close, absolutely. But I enjoy both sims. I really enjoy both sims. Yeah, hopefully we get a scenery update. I really hope. The thing is, I'm just not sure what they can do about it, because they just don't have access to, map data, photogrammetry data, satellite imagery. So, I don't know how they would ever be able to implement, for example, streaming orthos. While I'm sure on a technical level they can do it, that's not the issue, it's whether they can do it legally. Not having the rights. Microsoft is lucky in that they own Bing, they have Bing maps, they have Bing photogrammetry data. That's the issue. So yeah, I'm not sure we'll ever get scenery as good as Microsoft Flight Sim by default in X-Plane. I think it's always going to require third-party mods and stuff like that, just due to X-Plane not having the same resources and reach as Microsoft Flight Sim does. But like I said, when you have all those in Sim Heaven, it's great. I do hope the OSM data gets a upgrade. That's something they can do, because Sim Heaven's great, but it's still slightly outdated, and you lose a lot of vegetation with Sim Heaven. So in cities, and not even just cities, but residential areas.
Scooter 409er, expect a T-Boo 1 Bravo arrival. I'll have you descending in about 15 minutes.
Expect the TB1 Bravo arrival, and we'll expect the descent in about 15 minutes. Scooter 409er. Yeah, with Sim Heaven you still lose some vegetation in areas, which is a little bit annoying. So yeah, I hope OSM data gets a nice update. And then we can always, I'm happy still having orthos downloaded or streaming orthos. I see V-Sky check, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, that'd be good if they can get that in. Coming up on Kuala Lumpur now. I have been to Kuala Lumpur in real life. Great city. Just down there. If you didn't already see, the Discord got a bit of an update today. I added some new channels, cleaned things up a little bit. Look at that. Beautiful. What is providing traffic? That is Traffic Global from Just Flight with updated schedules and models. Is what is providing my traffic at the minute. And then Sane Tensions just have some chatter in the background as well. They're not linked to anything, it's just random chatter. Yes, absolutely. Please catch it. It takes time though. For sure. So yeah, once we land, we'll take a look at TaiModels Singapore scenery.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
In full disclosure, TaiModels did provide Singapore for XP12 to the channel for free. So I do really appreciate that, but as always, it won't affect my opinions or anything. It'll still be a true review of the scenery. Yeah, so Robert, they do have some traffic, but it's not really particularly good with the default XP12 traffic. But yeah, I do recommend Traffic Global. It's quite nice. I'm waiting for Sane Tensions to bring their traffic to X-Plane. They've done it for Microsoft Flight Sim. Now I'm just waiting for them to bring it to X-Plane. That'll be really good. It'll be more coherent as well, with it being actually controlled by ATC. Here is Kuala Lumpur below us. Huge city, and we are directly overflying it. I believe the airport is over there. We flew there not too long ago with our Microsoft Flight Sim TaiModels stream. Aviation with Araby. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Welcome. Sim Crash Fly, no worries at all. You have a good day. Thank you very much for being here. Beautiful. RB, oh, I remember. Now I remember. Apologies. Just picked up the 757 from Flight Factor. Very nice. You'll have fun with that. It's a great plane. A little bit on the older side now, but Flight Factor are giving the 757 a nice update soon, just like they did with the 767. So yeah, you'll enjoy that. It's an absolute rocket ship. It's a great aircraft. Hey, Megabyte Gaming, welcome. How's it going? No worries at all. How do you update it? So you just update it using you can either use X Updater, which is there it is from Calum. Brilliant, thank you. So you can use X Updater. There, runs off jar. Once you put your email, you put your license in, it will update the 757 for you. Thank you very much, Caleb. And yeah, I do for the 757 highly recommend the Mango Studio sound pack and the Mango Studios engine mods for it. They are really good. I have the Mango Studios PW mod for it, and then I have the Carter RB11 on it as well. And I think the 757 doesn't have GE engines, does it? So. Thank you very much, Megabyte. We really appreciate seeing all your posts. They are fantastic. I just added a new racing screenshots section, Megabyte, so I know you have a lot of racing screenshots, so yeah, absolutely. There's a new section for that as well. Are you using SimHeaven? I am. I'm using SimHeaven as well. So this at the minute, what you're saying is all map enhancement and then SimHeaven and X-Roads. X-Roads just, it doesn't really make a difference at this altitude, but when you're lower, it essentially removes those grey roads that comes with default X-plane, and what it basically means is that you see roads from the ortho imagery rather than the physical object road. So it saves a bit of FPS, but also in my opinion looks better as long as you have orthos. And then yeah, when we get to Singapore for that area, I have a custom ortho for XP tile downloaded locally, so the quality will be higher. It has my custom settings, it has the patch applied to it. Yeah, SimHeaven's great. Like I said, it does remove vegetation in some areas, so you get, you know, in residential areas. In residential areas and stuff like that, you tend to lose a little bit of vegetation, which is a shame when compared to default X-plane, but otherwise it's more accurate for sure. Really, Manuel, huge FPS loss. Interesting. I have a slight FPS dip, but not much with SimHeaven. Maybe it's worth reinstalling it or something, potentially. What plugin do you use for custom camera position? This is the default camera system right now. You can just hit Control and a number on your numpad to save, and then you hit the number on your numpad and it will go straight back to it. So I have all of mine set up. So I've got 1, my main pilot view, 2, a landing gear view, 3 is my lower pedestal, 4 is the overhead, 5 is this nose view, 6 is co-pilot, 7 is FMCs, and then 8 and 9 are wing views. Yeah, that's just default X-plane camera system. The X camera is good, yeah, I just need to get it all set up. I do use X camera for the trailers I make, because it's fantastic for that kind of stuff. Really, really good. Control and then keys on your numpad. You can change those bindings as well in the setting. So my keyboard actually doesn't have a numpad, so I'm using control and then the number keys that are above my letter keys is how I'm controlling my cameras right now. But yeah, it works really well. I think X-Plane's default camera system is fantastic. And of course you have the shift 1 to 9 cameras as well. So 1 is like a slow flyby. I'll let it run. So shift 1 is a slow flyby. Shift 2 is a fast flyby. Three is from the, we'll go to the closest runway and lock onto the aircraft. 4 is just external circle view. 5 is from the closest ATC tower. So the closest ATC tower is a aircraft carrier at the minute. Oh, and it just switched. Yeah. 6 is like a locks onto the back of your aircraft camera. 7 is your cockpit camera. And then 8 is locked on but circular, I think. And 9 is something, I don't know. Bunch of different cameras in X-Plane, really, really good. What plugin are you talking? So the plugin, the keybinds I was just talking about now is default in X-Plane. No plugin. Yeah, that was all default. Which is one of the reasons I really think the X-Plane camera system is just so good. Really, really good. I only use X camera really for making trailers and stuff like that and videos. Will the 757 update be free? Yes, it will. They are working on a whole new version of that as well, which I believe will be a paid update, but that's in years. So for now, yeah, all the updates will be free. Yeah, X camera has never given me FPS issues, to be completely honest. It's a very simple, lightweight plugin. So, yeah, I'll try and reinstall Megabyte. It's never caused me any issues. I just haven't had time to set it up properly for, you know, normal flying. Starting to get some of that lovely sunset. Look at that. Beautiful. Very, very nice. So we should get a nice sort of sunset landing here, hopefully. And then what we'll do is when we land, we'll put it back to daytime so I can show you guys the airport. "35 people on the stream currently. Welcome to all of you. Glad to have you here. And yeah, guys, if you haven't already joined the Discord, we have a fantastic community of people there. Whether you want the sim support, if you just want to learn a bit more about flight sim or flying, post your screenshots, etc. Do come and join. It's Abs Games. I don't have the FS Labs in Microsoft Flight Sim, so I can't really compare. Additionally, they are, of course, two very different sims, so it's difficult to compare across simulators. What I will say, though, is the TOLIS family of aircraft are really nice. Visuals and sounds are not so great. But in terms of system depth, in terms of the way they fly, like the flight model, the physics, all of that stuff, they are top notch. They really are. I think the Phoenix aircraft, I absolutely love them. If I had to pick any Airbus aircraft to fly, or if I had to recommend any Airbus aircraft, it would be the Phoenix, for the pure reason of the value you get on those. You know, you have great sounds. You don't need any sound pack. You have great visuals. Some really, really top-notch visuals. It flies great. I don't think it flies as nice as the TOLIS in X-Plane, but that's a limitation of Microsoft Flight Sim more than the add-on. And the system depth in the Phoenix is very, very good as well. So, you know, for the price that the Phoenix are, they are just fantastic. Great value for money. For the price of one TOLIS, you can get the entire Phoenix fleet. But yeah, I do still love the TOLIS. The FS Labs I don't have, I can't really compare. For what I've seen, it seems pretty decent. I know Q8 Pilot streamed it earlier, so I'll go back and take a look at that, see what he thinks. Hoping to see Mark at FS Expo this weekend. Well, Stan, hope you have a great time at FS Expo. I'm sure that'll be a great weekend. I'll definitely be watching, that's for sure. Is there one plane you absolutely love? What would you pick? In terms of flight sim or real world? Q8 loves the FSL, does he? The FS Labs. I'll take a look at his stream. But yeah, I haven't tried FS Labs, so I can't compare, unfortunately. Flight sim. Oh, this is a tricky question. This is a very tricky question. I gotta say, the Zebo, I love the Zebo. It's the first aircraft I was really flying. I really learned to fly the 737 using the Zebo. It's free, of course, so it's just fantastic in almost every regard, you know. I think the Zebo is definitely up there. Very recently, I really loved the Turbine Dukes, the black square Turbine Dukes in Microsoft Flight Sim. They're great. A lot of fun. What else do I enjoy flying in X-Plane? There's so many. The Flight Factor 777 V2. Again, I love the 777, so great aircraft. We have so many great add-ons nowadays for both simulators. Oh yes, MD-11 by Rotate. You know, the MD-11 is so much fun as well. I do agree, and I think it's one of the best hand-flying aircraft. Personally, I think the Zebo is probably the best for me in terms of hand flying. The MD-11 is very, very close, and so is the TOLIS aircraft. They hand fly just amazing. Alright, it's really starting to get dark now. Sunset behind us. Samantha Fox, welcome. Yeah, MD-11 is amazing. Love the MD-11. I like that it's, yeah, as Megby has said there, it's fun to land. It's challenging, right? You really gotta be on it. You gotta be so careful when you're landing it, but that's fun. You know, that's what I was really enjoying about the Dukes. We are going to fly the Dukes again this week on Microsoft Flight Sim. But that's what I love about the Dukes. You know, they're difficult. There's so much to do. There's so much to keep your eye on. It's so manual. You know, TDS did provide me with the GTN 750-650 pack for Microsoft Flight Sim. As you know, I have the X-Plane version. But we are going to check out the Microsoft Flight Sim versions as well, and we'll probably do that in the Turbine Duke. Great aircraft. I need to stream the Starship from Black Square. Black Square, guys, if you haven't looked at Black Square, go and take a look at their stuff. They do amazing stuff. For Microsoft Flight Sim, their GA stuff, so good. So good. From an engineering background, you know, I studied aerospace engineering. Those Black Square products with their engine schematics, the electrical schematics, the cabin environment schematics. It's a great learning tool and so interesting, personally. I love those aircraft so much. Completely agree. I think a few people said FS Labs in Q8, so it's getting near to the Phoenix, and like the 321 Beta with the system depth. Hope you enjoy your night. Thank you very much, It's Ups Games. Hope you enjoy your night as well. And yeah, like I said, so many great aircraft coming out for Flight Sim. We are totally spoiled for choice now. Interested to see how the 737 MAX is going to be on X-Plane. Yeah, the Air4 Labs 737. Air4 Labs do great GA stuff. You know, they have the King Air, they have the Cessna 172s, so the digital and the analog. I reviewed the analog, was it last year or earlier this year, and it's just amazing. I need to get the King Air, but you know, if they carry that level of detail across into the 737, that will honestly be a contender for the best airliner. You know, if Air4 Labs continue what they've been doing, they're going to be up there with Flight Factor, 777, you know, potentially even up there with Hot Start Challenger. Potentially, you know, I'm really excited for that, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And we're gonna get descent fairly soon, and looks like they want to put us on the ILS 20 right. So I'm gonna just preset that on my Navigraph and in the aircraft. I can see using the UI on say intentions, that's what they're going to give us, so it's a bit of a cheat, I know. Hello, Utkarsh, welcome. Keep telling me my email is wrong. How do I make an account for Flight Factor? You need to use the account that you use to purchase the aircraft on the X-Plane store. So you don't need to make a new account, you just need to use the same email you used to purchase. Top of descent, there we are. We'll wait for ATC to give us descent clearance. Very nice. Should get some lovely lighting effects. Sun already rising in Singapore. Is it? If it's rising,
Scooter
maybe we don't
409er,
have
descend
time.
via TB1 Bravo into Singapore.
Descend via the TB1 Bravo into Singapore. Scooter 409 on. Alright, we'll hit the descent then. Maybe we'll go live time for an early morning arrival.
Scooter 409er, descend via the TB1 Bravo arrival into Singapore.
Descend via the TB1 Bravo arrival into Singapore, Scooter 409er. Alright, first restriction then is 10,000, so we'll go all the way down to 10. We are descending, lovely. Oh, that was the question, I see. I think local time in Singapore is like 3 AM or something.
Scooter 409er, cross Vampo at altitude 10,000.
Cross Vampo, altitude 10,000, Scooter 409er. Okay, so the way we can make the VNav do that is Vampo, as you can see here, we can hard preset 10,000 in. We'll put that in. There we are. It's going to recalculate, so we are way high, so let's put the speed brakes out. If they wanted us at 10,000 by Vampo, they really should have got us to descend early. Oh well. We'll take it down real quick. It's 4:06 AM. I wonder if it's... I think it's going to be too dark. It says 3:07 local. Maybe it's an hour behind. Yeah, it's too dark. I want a sunset or sunrise. Maybe if I do... Too dark. We'll go back to roughly where you are. Right. Passenger's holding tight. Yeah, I know. I don't know why they gave us this silly descent, but there you go. Vasim done that to me yesterday to split. Change your arrival said.
Scooter 409er, speed 250 knots.
Yeah, absolutely. Speed 250 knots, Scooter 409er. Alright. Yeah, they want us at 250 at the minute, unfortunately. It looks like. Oh well, we'll do what we can. Hey Carson, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Alright, let's get that ILS set here. Because we are now doing the ILS 20 right. I don't think I've ever landed 20 right. Via Ipoh. Now it's reset that, hasn't it? Yep. This is what I mean. Say intentions is great, just sometimes it gives you a bit of an impossible task, unfortunately. Caleb says gear time. Gear down. I'm good, thank you, Carson. Very, very good. Yeah, we didn't get a shortcut, to be fair. We didn't get a shortcut. On the charts it says Vampo we should be, which is this one here, above 10,000. But Say Intentions wants us at 10,000, so that's interesting. I don't think we'll make it, but we'll get close. We'll do our best. Singapore off to the left here. Yeah, so Say Intention is great, it's just occasionally it does something a little bit silly and leaves you high, for example. I kind of, the way I look at it is, it's a realistic error, potentially, is the way I look at it. It's not impossible for a controller to leave you high by accident. You know, it does happen in real life, and you have to work around that sometimes. So we'll call it that. It's a shame we can't do what they do. It's the C-17, the rapid tactical descent, where they actually just open the reversers and go down to like 10,000 foot per minute. Crazy. Just curious, what do you use for the flight info on the top? That is from Fly Live Studio, so I don't actually see that on my screen. That is purely for the benefit of the stream. I don't see that on my screen. That's just for the stream. We'll add a 10 nautical mile fix in here. So we'll go Whiskey, Sierra, Sierra, Sierra. 220 knots. That's slow, really. Speed 220 knots. Scooter 409er. Alright, they want 20 knots. 220. We're gonna have to pull the speed brake a little bit. That's actually almost at our green dot speed. Yeah,
Scooter
we're gonna have to pull the speed
409er,
brake
contact
completely.
Jakarta radar on 132.3.
Jakarta radar 132.3, Scooter 409er. I'll go open descent now. Jakarta radar 132. 1323. Jakarta radar, Scooter 409er, inbound Singapore on the Tibu 1 Bravo arrival, descending through flight level 1734, flight level 100. Alright.
Scooter 409er, Jakarta radar identified. Good evening.
Yeah, V-Sky check, yeah, absolutely. Descent energy management, yeah, very, very important, absolutely. Very important. I suppose realistically, in that scenario, we wouldn't have made 10,000. No way, we're at 16,000 now, so, well, 16,500 feet too high for that restriction. That was never going to happen. I should have gone unable performance and they would have told us something else, you know? Realistically, that's what we'd have done. Let's do our landing perf. Low should be fine on the speed brake. All of this is correct, so we'll just hit low. Look at this lighting, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Wrong button. Alright, thanks. I'll probably start streaming sometime this month. Brilliant. Let us know when. If you need
Scooter
any help setting
409er,
anything up, let
Jakarta
me know.
radar, contact Singapore approach on 124.05.
Singapore approach 124.05, Scooter 409er. Alright, 124.05. I really need a radio panel, like a physical one. No, that's the wrong frequency. That's 005. We want 05. There it is. Singapore approach, Scooter 409er, descending through flight level 148 for altitude 10,000 inbound on the Tibu 1 Bravo arrival. Singapore is off our...
Scooter 409er, Singapore approach identified. Hi, expect the ILS runway 20 right approach into Singapore.
Expect the ILS 20 right approach into Singapore, Scooter 409er. Alright. We are using my nightlight mod, of course. As you can see, it does fix the toeless nav lights. Makes them nice and crisp rather than that huge PNG that is default. Oh, the cabin lights are on. Why are the cabin lights on? We should probably turn the cabin lights off. Cool. Alright, what's the transition? Actually, flight level 130. So it's probably time to get local QNH in. 1009. Which is already set. Lovely. And we should also do landing performance.
Singapore departure, contact Lumpur radar on
So QNH 1009. I hope we get animations for the MCGU buttons soon. A lot of other add-ons have it nowadays, so I think Tolis need to implement animations. 27 wind, 180 at 6. And minimums today. Minimums today is gonna be 213. Put that in. And we go back to the fix that we were doing. We need a radial. So the course for the ILS is 203, minus 180 from that is 23, or 023. Should probably put the 023 in. and 10 nautical mile radius, and that's going to give me 10 nautical mile fixed ring and an extended center line all the way down. Brilliant. There's Singapore. You can just about see the city lights. So now we're descending nicely. They did say descend with a star, so how much lower can we go? We can go to 7,000 now if we wanted. So we'll get back onto the VNAV profile at 220. That's fine. I will turn it back today for the to look at the airport. Give you a good look at TaiModels Singapore. Get our lights on. Actually, taxi and runway turn-off lights will turn on later. We don't need them just yet. Hey, Owls! Welcome. How's it going, my friend? Good to have you here. I've seen you've been doing a lot of real-world flying. Hope that's all going well, and stay safe, my friend. You're lucky to be in a 172. I've been flying in a 152 and in the hot weather here in the UK, it just struggles to climb so much. I was, it was something like 30 degrees on Saturday during my flight lesson, climbing out with my instructor on board, getting like 300-400 feet per minute. Then we're meant to cruise at 90 knots for my nav. I did all the calculations for my nav flight. Cruising at 90 knots, normally we do 2300 RPM, 90 knots. And we were, you know, just below red line, couldn't get 90 knots out the aircraft because of the performance. Yeah, not great. So we ended up cruising at 80 knots. I had to redo some calculations in the air for my times. It was it was crazy for a first nav, but a lot of fun. Had to fly the 152 the other day on a cross country 10 knot headwind. Yeah, not fun. 152 is chronically underpowered. Chronically underpowered. Unfortunately, my club does have a PA-28, but it's way more expensive, so I will be sucking up, sticking with the 152 for now.
FedEx 5040, contact Singapore Tower on 118.25.
As ridiculously underpowered it is.
FedEx 5040.
Yeah, hope your PPO is going well, my
contact
friend.
Singapore Tower on 118.25.
11825 is Singapore Tower. I'm going to preset that. 11825. We'll get that ready. Look at the lighting. Lovely stuff. Of course, the lighting up here is default X-Plane. This is my own nightlight mod. The wing light is on. When did I turn that on? Why is the wing light on? Oh. Oh, it's okay. That's the landing light. Never mind. Not bad. Thank you very much for stopping by, Owls. I appreciate it.
FedEx 5601, climb flight level 240.
Alright.
Flight level 240, FedEx
It's a long approach here. Singapore, flying all the way around the city. Getting a lovely view though while we do it. I'll bring the time back a little bit because I kind of want... I want this kind of lighting for when we land, hopefully. Just holding 10,000 for the minute, and then we'll descend in a second here. Looks like it's just going to make a descent there, interestingly, which should be fine. Looks like Flight Factor, while we're on stream, have just released a new versions of the 75 and 767. Let me see if I can grab the let me see if I can grab the patch notes.
Departure Chester Asia 161 passing 2200. Jetstar Asia 161,
unless
Singapore
it's an
departure,
old
radar
notification.
contact.
It's not. Alright.
Flight level 200, Jetstar Asia 161.
So, Boeing 767 fixed the DH increment by 1 to 10, added a small power boost, 762s. Added option for compact engine indications for the ECAS. Cool. 757 Beta, they did the same thing for the decision height, fixed hydraulic system. But finally, that was a big one. Warned about oil pressure when engines are off. Alright, just bug fixes for the minute. But it's good to see Flight Factor bringing updates. Very nice indeed. I don't think we have the cockpit update yet for the Flight Factor. There's a bit of lag every time I turn my head. It takes a second to load. This ortho should all now be part of the ortho tile I made. I'm just going to plug my keyboard in. Get low on battery.
Requesting next heading.
I love having a wireless keyboard and mouse and headset, but it's a task in itself to make sure everything's charged.
Cleared for the ILS runway 20 right approach.
Tower guide fast, cleared for 20 right approach.
Nice.
King Air 597 for Alpha.
That lighting, very nice. There's still some weird artifacts and stuff going on here. Hopefully that gets fixed up. But that's kind of always been in X-Plane. It's just, I think it's just a bad anti-aliasing, which needs fixing as well. Yeah, the mouse I have, it's a Glorious Model O wireless. I got it for like £30 from somewhere, I can't remember. It's a super light mouse, wireless. It's fantastic. It weighs like 40 grams. It's ridiculously light, and it glides very well on my mouse mat. So, you know, if you're into playing shooters and stuff like that, it's great for that. But also, it's just light. You know, I use my PC a lot, whether it be for work or YouTube or flight sim or whatever. So having a nice light mouse, make sure I don't, you know, my hands don't get too tired, is very important. It lasts a few days of use generally, and you know, pretty much full days of use as well. You know, I would say it probably has about 40 hours in it per charge, which is really not bad considering it charges up in like 2 hours to max, and you can use it while it's plugged in, which is very useful. The only thing with my headset is that, do we have a disco? We do have a disco. Get rid of that. Yeah,
Scooter 409er, descend altitude 3500, turn left, heading 335 vectors for the ILS runway 20 right approach.
Descend altitude 3500, turn left, heading 335 vectors for the ILS 20 right approach. Scooter 409er. Alright, they've given us vectors. 335. Pretty much it's the same as where we're going anyway, so that's fine. That works. We do need to, according to the chart, be down at 190. So I'm just gonna go. Let's see. We'll command 190. So that's what the chart, the approach chart says. So we'll command 190. Open descent. We'll go flaps 1 in a second. We'll arm the speed brakes, and we'll go flaps 1. Oh, we're gonna have to go flaps 2 to get all the way to 190. Jeez. We don't have to be at 190 until dip up. We've got a little while to go. That's fine. Although we are on vectors now, so we'll stay
Good evening, Singapore.
at S speed, I think.
Singapore 611 heavy descending through flat level 140 to 6000. Expecting the ILS runway 20 right approaching to Singapore. Singapore 611.
Airport is over
Singapore
there
611, turn
somewhere.
left heading 190.
Turning left heading 190, Singapore 611.
There's our descent going. Not too bad. Might add a bit of speed brake to help us descend. I don't know, we'll see. There's a lot to load when I pan over that way, so, but hey, this lighting looks great right now. This is where really, XP12.2, you can really see the difference. You really can. Of course, night lighting is just down to my mod. But the atmospheric lighting, really cool. Really, really cool. Alright, we're sending nice, but I'll just go... Keep on there. Go S speed. In fact, what we can do is just... Oh, the approach is activated. Alright, cool. So, right, the aircraft is just going to fly at S speed now.
Scooter 409er, 8 miles from Ipoh. Turn left heading 270, descend altitude 2500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 20 right approach.
Left heading 270, descend altitude 2500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 20 right approach. Scooter 409er. Alright, so we are continuing our descent here. It wants us to turn... Oh, hello, what was that? Was that a lightning flash or a bug? They want us to fly 270 now. We might be high. I'm going to pull speed brakes. Help us get down. What are we at? 6,000? Let's get down. Platform altitude is 3,500.
Climb flight level 250.
We're good. We should get down in time.
280, Cathay 714.
Cathay 714, contact Lumpur radar on 133.55.
There's the runway. Off to the left. No worries, V-Sky Check. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. So we're clear to ILS. We want to get down. We want to intercept the glide slope from below. I don't want to be intercepting from above. But we should be fine. Once we're on the glide slope, we'll set 5,000 on the MCP. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go lock. So it'll intercept the localizer and it's gonna continue taking us down. And then once we get below the glide slope, I'll activate approach and it'll intercept the
contact Singapore Tower on 118.25.
Qantas 1 Super, we are established.
That is Qantas 1 Super. That is A380 from Cessna. Right, we'll go approach.
Scooter 409er, contact Singapore Tower on 118.25.
And what I'm going to do is go flaps 2 and stow the speed brakes. Singapore Tower 118.25, Scooter 409er. Alright. 118.25 is set. Let's bug 5,000 for go around altitude. There we go, looking good. Singapore Tower, Scooter 409 established on the ILS runway 20 right.
$2,500.
Scooter 409er, Singapore Tower, winds 180 at 6. Runway 20 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 20 right, Scooter 409er. Alright, we're looking good, we're 7 miles out. Ground frequency for Singapore is 120.905. So get that ready. Let's see where we're going to vacate. Alright, got that ready. Good
2000.
stuff. Let's go gear down, flaps 3. Runway turn off, taxi lights on. We'll alert the cabin, spoilers armed. And we'll go flaps full shortly. Nice lighting, very nice. FX, this is my own night lighting mod. There will be a link in the Nightbot has put a link just there. Let me copy and paste it. And I'll paste it in chat for you. Oh, it's not done it. I'll post it after I land, FX. It is my own nightlight mod. Alright, flaps full. Alright, looking good, stable. I'll disconnect the autopilot. And we'll hand fly this beautiful A320 Neo in.
601, contact departure.
Contact departure, FedEx 5601.
Brilliant FX.
Singapore
Yeah, super
177,
simple,
welcome to Singapore.
super
Contact
simple
ground
install.
on 120.905.
120.905, Singapore 177 heavy.
Looking good. Go around altitude is set, just in case. Getting a bit high, correcting on the center line. Still slightly high, but we've got 2 red, 2 white on the pappies, so looking good.
500. 400.
Alright, back on glide slope.
100 above. 300.
Malaysia is 73,
Minimum.
Minimum, we'll continue. Visual now.
Brief information Tango.
100.
Malaysia is 73, IFR to Kuala
Keep
Lumpur,
coming
brief
down.
information Tango.
50.
1
40.
second while I grab the
30.
paperwork.
20. Retard. 10. 5.
Hold it off.
Malaysia A73, we're flight to
There we go.
crash departure runway
Keep it on
02
line.
center.
Versus.
Singapore Tower. I would like to request an IFR to control with information
That's
Tango
100.
using runway 02 center.
Sorry, that was 80. 6 knots, we're going to take this high speed here.
Welcome to Singapore. Contact ground on 120.905.
Ground on 120.905, Scooter 409er. Alright, 120.905, we had that preset, didn't we? There we are. Take this exit. This is Whiskey 7. Singapore ground, Scooter 409er vacated runway 20 right at Whiskey 7. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Right, where they're gonna take us.
Scooter 409er, Singapore ground. Taxi to D36 via Whiskey 8, Whiskey Quebec, Quebec 3. Good day.
Taxi to Delta 36 via Whiskey 6, Whiskey 8, Whiskey Quebec, Quebec 3, Scooter 409er. I don't know why it thinks we're on Whiskey 8, but we're definitely not. Whiskey Quebec. Where's Quebec? Okay, that's taking us to a remote stand. I'm just going to go ahead and taxi here to the terminal at my own discretion. We'll head off this way.
Lima Papa 49 Bravo, startup approved. Push back
Thank
and
you,
start at your
Samantha, folks.
discretion.
Contact apron on
how does one get stable approach to work
119.999
with
for
a
tug assistance if
777V2?
needed.
Yeah, it does have, look at this mesh work.
Start approved. Back and start at our discretion. I will contact the apron on 119.99
Actually, is that a,
for tug assistance if needed. Lima Papa 49 Bravo.
Just... right, I have some... my VRAM is pretty maxed out at the minute, so we're struggling a little bit. Doesn't help it being night as well. Alright, we'll stow the speed brakes, flaps up, TCAS off, predicted wind shear, weather radar, all that good stuff can come off as well. Right. And then yeah, I'll show you the airport again. I am VRAM limited, so things may not appear as good as they would on your systems, but in general it's a pretty good scenery. A little bit heavy on VRAM, but it is a massive airport. So it's kind of understandable that we have a lot of VRAM usage. Yeah, so stable approach with a 777V2. I can't remember if it does work or not. I know it gives you an error, but I think if I remember right, it still works for me, even though I have an error. I don't know. I'll have to check. I can't remember. I'll have to check. We will take a look at the replay, of course, and then we'll take a look at the airport. We'll change the time back today. Hate the orange beacon on the tow list. Wish it was red. On my screen is red. On my screen is red. Could be more red, I suppose. Star Alliance. Yeah, I'm severely... What's my... Yeah, look at this. My VRAM is just completely maxed out. I'm just going to disable traffic global, help a little bit with the VRAM. No worries, Stan. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it, my friend. Alright, then we're going to go on to one of these stands.
Requesting IFR to...
yeah, the airport is a bit heavy on VRAM, I suppose. But it does look great.
For that clearance.
You just might struggle with 8 gig of VRAM.
Singapore ground, good afternoon. Singapore 328 heavy at stand Echo 8 requesting push and start.
I have the same issue at most large airports.
Singapore 328, push and start approved. Face northeast.
Come on. Keep it going. Those engines sound great. I do have map enhancement running as well. It's probably not helping. We'll take this. We'll take this parking slot over here. We'll get our lights off. Should have a... Is that a VTGS system we have for the parking? Is my keyboard disconnecting? Lovely. So I have it on charge.
All aircraft information hotel is now current. QNH 1006.
Not a clue why. That's a shame.
11825.
I'll have to troubleshoot why that's not working. Could be open, Sam.
Delta Foxtrot, contact tower on 118.25.
And we'll stop there.
All aircraft be advised, information echo is now current. QNH 1010.
Yeah, no idea what the VTGS isn't working. I will have to troubleshoot that. Anyway, bleeds on. Engines off. And there it is. We'll take a look at the replay. And then we'll... Nope, not the wipers. I want to get the dome light. There it is. And we'll just extend the landing lights so that they look a little bit better in the replay. Alright. Let me close some stuff here. Elevatex has the flight registered. Lovely. Landing rate at minus 141 feet per minute. Not too bad. Yeah, my PC is really struggling on the VRAM. As you can see, it's setting everything to minimum. It's not great. But that is a issue on my side To be honest, let's take a look at the replay here. And then we'll take a look at the airport in a bit more detail. All right. Let's take a look. High flare, a little bit. Not too bad in the end, though. Let's do something like this. Get a nice angle on this landing here. The light glow does look pretty good. Look at that. Super cool. And then, yeah, we'll take a look at the at TaiModels for XP12. Not a bad landing. Can't complain. I will show you the is it the indoor garden it's called here at Singapore, the waterfall. It's just magnificent. It's so cool. Alright. Toggle the replay. Let's bring the... Alright, here we are. TaiModels Singapore for X-Plane. Let's get rid of the weather as well. And I'll just table that. Alright, so like I said, this is my own custom ortho tile. As you know, looks pretty good. I have applied the patch to it, of course. And yeah, we'll just start. Of course, there's no aircraft in the minute because I disabled traffic global. Yeah, looks like there is a couple of mesh issues with the patch here, as you can see. Yeah, they just like dip there. Look at that. That's not fantastic. Anyway, so the ground textures here look pretty nice. Oil spills and stuff. Of course, it is normally higher res. It's just with me streaming and all that, I'm really running low on VRAM at the minute. But you know, if you're not struggling VRAM wise, it should look a lot better. To be completely honest, I had the same issue with the cloud surface just because it's such a huge airport. There's so much to render. We have lovely 3D grass everywhere and included orthos, and then the various buildings over here. DHL, again, that sign is unreadable at the minute. It is normally a lot sharper. Just, I'm so struggling for VRAM right now. I do apologize. It's not the greatest to be able to show you what's happening. So, you know, but I can't do a huge amount about my VRAM without getting a new graphics card. It all looks pretty cool. There's a lot of custom buildings. I think the runway and the taxi textures here are really nice. Really good. And then we have Singapore Changi Airport signage. As you can see, all the custom gates, everything looking great. And then in here we have the indoor garden. And yeah, and the waterfall, and it looks so good. He's done a great job of this, considering this is all indoor. Great job. Really nice. It looks fantastic from outside too. Look at that. Beautiful. I just wish my VRAM wasn't absolutely dying at the minute, but maybe running map enhancement for this flight was not a good idea. But yeah, the interior is modeled as well to an extent. It's not too bad. Pretty decent. Again, I'm not overly bothered about interiors anyway. As long as, you know, from inside here, it looks relatively good. So yeah, not too bad. It is almost, I think it's almost double the price of CloudSurf. So, you know, if you're looking for a cheaper version, CloudSurf is still pretty good. It is slightly outdated though. Yeah, if you want a really nice high quality TaiModels scenery, then this is a great option for you for Singapore. Obviously a huge hub in Singapore, a huge hub for a lot of flights around the world. as well. And if you got a card capable of running it a little bit better than I can with some more VRAM, I'm sure you'll do great. So yeah, do keep that in mind. It is heavy on VRAM. On general frames, it's actually pretty good. I'm getting about 40 right now. Again, because I'm quite limited by VRAM, and I am streaming, of course, which doesn't help things. So yeah, do keep that in mind. It's heavy on VRAM, so I'm on a 8 gig card. So if you have 8 gig, maybe think twice about getting it. Although I had the same issue with CloudSurf as well. So I think it is just the sheer size of the airport. There's so many textures. I'm not entirely sure that they can do a huge amount, more than what they've already done in terms of optimization, to be completely honest. But otherwise, yeah, it's a great scenery. I do get more frames than CloudSurf, actually. I think it looks better. It's more up to date. The indoor waterfall there is just fantastic as well. Do you have auto tile for this location? Does TaiModels have auto for XP mesh patch? So, this is my own custom tile, and I did use the mesh patch. The mesh patch isn't done by TaiModels. The mesh patch is done by someone called November Lima. It doesn't come in the install, but you can download it from the xplane.org forum. If you just search Singapore auto patch or WSSS auto patch, you should find it. It's by a guy called November Lima on the forums. He's done a lot of mesh patches. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, and the reason is, and he explained why the mesh patch isn't perfect, is because TaiModels Singapore is located on the edge of a tile boundary for ortho. So this is 2 ortho tiles. There's one on this side, one on this side. They are split, and that makes making a mesh patch quite difficult, apparently. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And I would say it's better than obviously not having orthos. Orthos pretty much essential at the minute in X-Plane. So, but yeah, at the main areas it's all fine. The only main issues I've noticed is here the FedEx. Obviously, there's some weird stuff going on over here. Everything else over here looks okay from what I can see. Looks like there's a bit of an issue here with something. There's an issue over here we noticed, wasn't there? So this isn't present in the default mesh that comes with the airport. This is, I believe, an issue with the actual patch, but yeah, for free, can't complain. So it's not perfect by any means. I really wish TaiModels did make a patch. I think for the price you're paying for these sceneries, they are on the more expensive side. I do think it should come with a mesh patch. If you're going to have a custom mesh, include a mesh patch, is what I would say to any developers developing scenery. Not having a mesh patch means we have to choose between a custom mesh or orthos, and no one wants to make that decision. So yeah, not perfect, but it's not too bad, to be honest, and I think it is still better than the CloudSurf scenery. Of course, the CloudSurf scenery I did also get given for free. So it's fair in that sense. I got both scenes for free. I don't owe anything to anyone in that sense. Yeah, that's just my opinion. So it is unfortunately heavy on VRAM though. But I think for the size of the airport, that's kind of fair enough. If they were to start optimizing more, we just wouldn't have any good looking textures. So it's a fine balance, but I think it's a great scenery. If you have a slightly higher VRAM card and you can tolerate the mesh issues with the mesh patch, then yeah, it's a great scenery. It is pretty good. They did supply a mesh patch for Oslo and Munich though, and it worked great. Yeah. So Munich is SFD, isn't it? Did TaiModels do in Munich? I don't remember a TaiModels Munich. But yeah, Oslo TaiModels is fantastic. London Heathrow is great. I just wish they got updates. Unfortunately, they seem to release. They might get a few bug fix updates, and then they kind of get forgotten a little bit. Heathrow is in need of an update because the layout's changed. So is Hong Kong, for example. Still great airports. Don't get me wrong. I do really like TaiModels airports, but I think they need updating. Because at the minute they're just they are getting a bit outdated in terms of the actual layout compared to real life. And stuff like that. So yeah, that's my honest opinion. And like I said, with TaiModels Singapore as well, it's a nice scenery. It is a nice scenery. Just slightly heavy on VRAM, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave you guys with a replay here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll leave you guys with a replay coming into Singapore. And I hope to see you all next time. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be streaming pretty much every night this week until Thursday. So hopefully get 4 streams in this week. I think tomorrow will either be in the Starship, or we're going to be in the Dukes in Microsoft Flight Sim, taking a look at the TDS GTN 750 for Microsoft Flight Sim. I don't know if I'll be in 2020 or 24. I need to, if my 2024 behaves tomorrow, I'll do a test flight, then we'll be in 2024. If not, it'll be 2020. So I hope to see you all there. Thank you to all of you who have been here. I'll leave you with a replay, and have a good night.
$500. $400. 100 above. 300. 200. Minimum. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10, 5.